My name is Eric Visser. I'm the athletic director here at Solano College. Welcome to everybody. This is a very special night where we get a chance to honor and recognize two special teams in the history and the rich tradition of Solano, and 5 special individuals that will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. As an athletic director, going to my 3rd year, this Hall of Fame celebration every year really allows me to get a glimpse of the rich tradition of Solano athletics. And a rich tradition it is very much indeed. And I think what really connects all the people in here that we try to continue at Solano is really the 4 pillars of academic excellence, athletic excellence, community service, and really good citizenship. And I think the people, the teams, and the student athletes, the former student athletes that we're recognizing, I think they embody all those 4 pillars. So for that, you know, it should be a really special evening. It's very important that I recognize the people in here, otherwise my wife said I didn't really do a good job, you know, recognizing everybody in the room. Before I say that, you know, I was thinking about, I was going to give a little bit of an update on athletics because there's a lot of good things. It's a very vibrant department. We were able to add men's and women's tennis this year. So again, in terms of expansion and the quality of our programs, our women's soccer and volleyball teams are right now competing for the Bay Valley Conference Championship and a very good chance to go to the playoffs. So this is really a very nice time, you know, to be at Solano College, and I think there's a lot of great things, including athletics, that are happening. And the people I want to recognize, they all are instrumental in really in the success of athletics. Number 1, I would like to introduce our President Superintendent, Celia Esposito-Noy. And I would be remiss to say that in 1 year she has made a dramatic change. I think in the 2 years I've been at Solano, Solano is really on the move. There's a lot of great things happening. And as an athletic director, I'm very privileged that I have a president actually gets the value of a vibrant athletic department. What a vibrant student athlete body can bring to a campus. So very lucky that we have a present superintendent that really understands a value of an intercollegiate athletic program that does well, complies, and does well academically. Number 2, I would like to recognize Michael Martin, the President of the Board of Trustees. I think again it's a testimony of how athletics is being valued at Solano, that we have not only the President and the Board of Trustees being here. I think Michael's testimony that he is really an ardent athletic fan is that last year he came to the women's soccer banquet and was able to sit the 3-hour presentation from Coach Cardinal. If you can make it to the women's soccer banquet, you're really a big athletic booster. So thank you for that. I would say when I go through the whole row of people here, I would not be remiss to say a big thanks to Trustee Brown. Everybody knows Mama Brown, right? There's only one of a kind. And again, when I started at Solano, when she came and pretty much volunteered for anything of doing the concessions, coming to our home games, volleyball, women's soccer. She would alert me when the light is not working in the sports medicine room, or there was something wrong with the vendors. She would be the first one to alert me. But again, her passion, number 1, is for students. And I think in December is her last board meeting. I would like to get a big applause for Monica Brown. My immediate supervisor, who again is very extremely supportive of our athletic program, and as many as you know, a critical thing about student success is counseling and providing support for our student athletes, and VP Brown has been instrumental getting us an academic council for athletics. So thank you, VP Brown. Then I will have to recognize my colleague and friend, Dean Gabriel. Dean Gabriel came on board a year ago at Solano, and I think we have had already many interesting conversations about the world of Solano, which is quite unique. But Dean Gabriel is making a tremendous impact as the Dean of Health Sciences. And again, we're very fortunate, which doesn't happen in many departments, that actually the Dean of Health Sciences and the Athletic Director collaborate and try to really further student success. So Dean Gabriel, thank you very much. The only thing is, I'm an athletic guy, I'm a jock. He's way too smart for me, So sometimes when we talk, I have no idea what he's talking about. He's way too smart for me, but, we get along very well and we collaborate. The next one that really made me extremely welcome when I came from the University of San Francisco, where I worked for 32 years, and I was a novice at Solano Community College 2.5 years ago, was my then supervisor and great colleague, and I miss that she's in Vallejo, but I still see her, and currently she's the president of the Booster Club, Shirley Lewis. I think I'm doing good so far. Then the people that really make it happen. Number one, the person that really made this Hall of Fame happen, the whole program, the whole outlay, the presentation, is my great admin, Claire Gover. She makes me look really good. The next, I would be remiss if I weren't to alert Allison Aubert, because Allison Aubert was not only inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame last year, but in all fairness, she's running a sports medicine department, bar none. And when we talk to recruits, and we talk about recruits that want to go NC2A Division I, our sports medicine department, not only our facilities, but she has more trainers than anybody else. Sometimes we have more trainers than players during the game. We have a vibrant, outstanding sports medicine program, and not only Allison does a great job leading that, but she's also a leader in the Community College Athletic Association. She's on the Management Council, which means it's a body overseeing California, and Allison is one of the leaders of that association. She's doing a great job to keep me on my toes. When she wants something, she needles me in very pointed emails, and I always tell her, you tempt me, but I do not respond an email when I get pissed. So I take a deep breather and I call her the next day. But she's doing a great job. She's a great help, and her experience and her value to the college is immense. So thank you very much, Allison. As everybody knows, our softball program is legendary with a tremendous tradition, and we really are grateful that Terry Pearson Bloom had a fantastic career. She retired and now working with Rob as the coordinator of kinesiology program. Everybody knows Terry. She gets really engaged in the college. She's involved in any committee. If you want to know anything about Solano College, talk to Terry. You will get the answers. Terry, thank you very much. Now quickly, the coaches, head coach Jeff Cardinal's here. Women's soccer, stand up please, Jeff. As I mentioned, if you can make it to his banquet, that is pretty good. Martin, it's I believe in April, put it on your calendar. It's from 7 to 11 p.m., so it's not too bad. Women's soccer, as I mentioned, right now is leading the conference. They're number 1 in the conference. They beat Fresno College for the first time in history, and Fresno was ranked number 1 in the state until the Falcons came by bus and beat Fresno College. So we're excited. The 19th, put in your calendar. There's a good chance that both women's soccer and volleyball win the playoffs. Darla Williams, the one and only. Last year she won her 200 game. Like Allison, she keeps me on my toes. Never a dull moment. Passion, knowledge, making a difference in student lives. Nobody's better than Darla Williams. Thank you. I think as of our coaches, that is. I would be remiss not to mention Coach Borchert. I'm sure his name is going to be mentioned quite a lot, Coach Borchert. He would be upset if I wouldn't mention that the women's basketball team is ranked 12th in the preseason, right? Are we ranked? We're ranked 12th preseason in Northern California. All right, so we're ranked 12th. So I think I got all the coaches. Did I miss a coach? It would be really bad if I missed a coach. I think I got everybody. So I think I'm already beyond my 5 minutes. But as I said, it's so much fun to be here and look in this room and look at the rich tradition of this program. And I hope that this is also a platform where people not only reconnect, but also get engaged in the college. There's so many positive things going on right now that not only are we celebrating tradition, but get involved. You know, we really need your support. Get involved in the college. And this is a nice transition for me, because one of the things that people do not know, or we talk about one of the secrets of our college, is we have, bar none, the best sport broadcasting program in Northern California. I was able to have Trustee Martin connect with Professor Poff. You might not know, but almost all our home games in all our sports are televised on the Solano College Sports Network. And as you can see, the whole operations here with all the cameras, and up there all the inductees were being interviewed like it's ESPN Sports Center. This is really the big time. And you know, this is really a vehicle. You know, when Greg Poff comes with his crew to volleyball, or he comes to soccer or basketball, you have students that get hand-on experience of being a broadcaster. And really, it is really great, because some of them are here in the room, how they grow from the first time. They're very timid in front of a camera. A year later, they become very experienced. And it's really great to see that we have such a vibrant broadcasting program under the guidance of Greg Poff. Greg is a nationally recognized recognized winner. It's a little intimidating for me to go before him, because he doesn't make me look really good. But the program is in fantastic hands. I really hope you enjoy yourself. And Greg, please, big hand for Greg Poff. Fantastic.
I guess we're not going to hold Eric to that 3-minute rule, right? Good job, Eric. Thank you so much. We're so pleased that all of you are here tonight. And in 1946, on September 21st, Vallejo Junior College, which had just formed, fielded its first football team. And in that game, they defeated Alhambra Athletic Club of Martinez 13-0, and thus began the rich and storied tradition of Solano Community College athletics. It is a tradition that has counted and touched countless of lives over the past decades, and it is a tradition that we are here to celebrate tonight. Hi everybody, I'm Greg Poff. I'll be your MC tonight, and I want to officially welcome you to the 20th annual Solano Community College Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Thanks for being here tonight. And we've got some great inductees tonight. 5 former student athletes getting into the Hall of Fame tonight. And those 5 student athletes from this night and forevermore will be members and the class of 2016 for the Solano Community College Hall of Fame, and again, adding to the great athletes that represent our tremendous program here at Solano Community College. We're also going to recognize 2 teams, as Eric talked about, the 1989 football team, probably one of the best football teams ever in the history of Solano, and also we'll be recognizing the 1995-96 women's basketball team. And we're going to hear about those teams in a little bit. We're going to get through the introduction, get you guys some food, and then we'll be able to hear from each of the inductees as well tonight. But before we go any further, let's at least meet the 5 student athletes going into the Hall of Fame tonight. We've got 2 players from the women's basketball team, a volleyball player, and 2 members from the Solano football team. First, for women's basketball, one of the best point guards to ever play for Solano Community College. She was all Bay Valley Conference in 2003. Let's hear it for Sharonda Watson. Nice job. And her teammates going in too. Outstanding program. Another inductee tonight in the 2016 Hall of Fame class. She was one of the best rebounders to ever play for Solano Community College. She had nearly 500 boards in her 2-year career and still holds the career record with 109 blocks. Let's hear it for all Bay Valley Conference player 2003. Candace Holmes. Also representing women's volleyball, and this is the 3rd time I've emceed this event. Every time we've got someone from women's volleyball getting into the hall tonight, no exception. She played in 2006, 2007, 2007. She was all Bay Valley Conference. Probably one of the best setters to ever play for the volleyball team. And the statistic that just blew me away, in her 2-year career, she played in 177 sets out of 185 sets. That is amazing. Let's hear it for Lovella Asuncion. Where'd she go? There we go, back there. And Lovella also academic All-American. Nice job. Student athletes, that's what we're talking about. And I'm excited about all the inductees, don't get me wrong, but I'm really excited about the 2 going in for Solano football. As Eric talked about, we've got a sports broadcasting program here at Solano, and we started in the late spring of 2007. We covered a couple Solano baseball games, a couple playoff games for the baseball team, but in 2007, that was the first time we actually started covering a team from start to finish. Now, that 2007 team didn't win a lot of games, but I'll tell you this, they were fun to watch, prolific offense, and one of the reasons why was the quarterback playing for the Solano Falcons. He threw for almost 5,000 yards in his 2-year career, 48 touchdowns. He averaged 234 yards passing a game, and played in one of the best games I've ever seen from the standpoint of a quarterback just lighting it up against the College of Marin. He threw for almost 500 yards and 6 touchdown passes. Let's hear it for number 2, the QB, Blake McAhern. Now, 48 of those TD passes that Blake threw, 12 of those went to our next inductee. Blake's sophomore year, our next inductee, freshman tight end. He was a literal touchdown machine. He scored 25 touchdowns in his 2-year career. His freshman year, he was a tight end. Great job, all Bay Valley Conference tight end. And then his next year, he moved out to wide receiver. Even better, Bay Valley Conference, state player, and All-American. Let's hear it for Kenonte Howard. And the other thing I can tell you about Kenonte, he was also one of the first members in our Solano College sports broadcasting program. When he wasn't catching TDs, he was our play-by-play announcer. He did women's basketball, men's basketball, baseball, and softball. Now, I might be putting the pressure on you because we're going to expect a little something, something, right? When you get up here, baby. And I'll tell you this about Kenonte. I said I wasn't going to say this, but now I am. He was in my public speaking class. He was such a good speaker. If he was not such an outstanding athlete, I would have recruited him to compete on our national champion speech and debate team in 2008, 2009. Outstanding speaker. You got to back me up now, right? And as I remember, Kenonte, you always handled pressure well, right? Well, folks, this is going to be a great time tonight. We sure are glad you're all here to join in the festivities. And before I'm done, I just want to give a quick shout out. She's coming to the end of her tenure as a governing board member for Solano Community College. We're hoping on Tuesday she's going to have a board seat for Solano County. But we want to thank you for your great service to the college, ardent supporter of athletics. Let's hear it for Monica Brown. And finally, last thing I'd like to mention, we do have one other aspiring politician in our midst. She's running for the first time for a governing board seat, Area 6 for Fairfield-Sassoon Unified School District. She's also here on a camera helping our sports broadcasting program. Let's hear it for our own communication studies professor, Anna Patero. And I'll tell you what, I've seen these two ladies campaign over the last 6 months. If they both get elected, watch out. I have never met two women that have worked hard. They're grinding every day out, hitting the pavement, campaigning. That hard work will really pay off for us for Solano County and for Fairfield-Sassoon Unified School District. Maybe think of that if you haven't voted when you do on Tuesday, November 8th. All right, folks, well, the last person we'd like to recognize tonight, and he thinks he's just coming up here for the invocation, but we also have a nice little plaque. Let's hear it for a long-time member of the Solano Boosters, great supporter of Solano Athletics. Let's hear it for Jesse Branch. Come on up, Jesse.
He thought we had forgiven him, but we didn't forget you, Jesse.
I know you didn't.
You know, you can see being a prelude to Professor Poff is not easy, right? I mean, quite a speaker. But as I said, when I came 2.5 years ago, and as a novice athletic director, you really try to get a sense of the community, the tradition, the history, and you really try to figure out, you know, who are the people that have been diehard Solano fans and booster and loyal to the program. And really it has been a privilege for the last 2.5 years to really get to know Jesse. You know, they don't make him like that anymore. It's a whole different generation. You know, look how wonderful and strong and dapper he looks. But last year, single-handedly, he was managing the concessions for all our sports at Solano. He was there day in, day out. It was softball, baseball, basketball, volleyball, soccer. He was there day in, day out. And again, there's nobody that I can be prouder of to be a part of our program. And this plaque here is a small token of appreciation. With gratitude and appreciation, we recognize Jesse J. Branch. You've inspired others through your dedication to student athletes and years of selfless service to the Solano Community College Athletic Boosters. We will not be the same without you and your years of service, 1992 to 2016. So, Jesse, thank you very much.
Hi, Dylan Collins here for Solano College Sports Network with an update about some upcoming news and events. If you haven't seen it already, be sure to check out the Not Mike and Mike Show with our very own Mike McLeod and Brian Nelson, where they will talk about, debate, and analyze everything about professional sports. A show will be posted every week on our Facebook page under Solano College Sports Network and our website, solanosportsnetwork.net. We will also be introducing a brand new show titled Sound Off, hosted by Soad Balazi and featuring fellow broadcaster Josh Kinder and myself, where we will debate hot topics about local sports on high school and the collegiate levels. That show will also be posted weekly on our social media outlets and website. Thanks for tuning in to the Solano College Sports Network. I'm Dylan Collins. See you soon.
Now we're getting to the good stuff. Get to hear from each of the student athletes being inducted tonight. But before we do, as we said at the start of the program, we want to recognize two very special teams throughout the history of Solano Community College athletics. The first team that we'd like to talk about and recognize is the 1989 football team. They went 10-1 on the season. Let's hear it. 10-1 on the season, undefeated in Bay Valley Conference play. They averaged 329 yards rushing per game, only gave up 10 points per game. Average margin of victory was 30 points, and their only loss was in the Gavilan Bowl. They lost to a team with a pretty good quarterback at the time, Jeff Garcia, who won and played for the San Francisco 49ers. In fact, I don't know about you, they might want to give Jeff a call, see if he's still available. Struggling a little at the quarterback position. But the 89 team didn't. Freshman quarterback of that team, Troy Mott, went on next year as a sophomore, has set several career records that still have stood the test of time at Solano Community College. And now, Coach Mott at Napa High School last night just won his second Mel League championship in a row. So, outstanding program. The last person I'd like to mention on that team, Jerome Davis, one of the best running backs, already inducted into the Hall of Fame that 89 year. He had 5 100-yard rushing games. Now, I wasn't around in 89. I got this by reading, but let's bring up two people who were actually there at this time. Let's welcome William Jones and Tracy Davis. Come on up.
First, I want to start out by saying I'm a little jealous of the 95 team. It's a whole bunch of them look like the whole team and just two of us. But that's okay. I just want to first off thank Eric for taking care of us, because, you know, one day I was coaching youth basketball and I went into that gym at Solano College and I looked at the rafters and looked at all the other teams honored, and I was like, man, we just got one little dot up there on a banner, and I couldn't accept that. So the first athletic director, the one previous to Eric, I called him. I couldn't get his ear, but, you know, as soon as Eric came aboard, we talked and he said, okay, I'll give you a call back. And so a little while later, I got an email, telling us about this special recognition, and I really do appreciate that, because that particular team, we had a really good coaching staff, and they had all of us prepared. And 3 of the coaches are no longer with us, and I wish they could be here tonight, because personally, they made it very easy for me, and I really did appreciate having them. But we had a very prepared team, and I used to think that junior college football was a joke because we was beating people so bad. And I just keep remembering, like, somebody eventually got to give us a game. And so we didn't really get a game until we get to the bowl. We played the Garlic Bowl, and nobody knew who Jeff Garcia was. And he was a little dude, and I looked across the field at him, and I was like, oh, here go another one. And, first play of the game, that dude pitched the ball to a dude, and he went like 80 yards for a touchdown. I said, okay, we're going to get a game today. know. And so we end up, we played hard, we came back, and we end up losing that game 56-48 because our kicker missed all 8 extra points. When I see him around town, I still can't look at him. But anyway, I just want to thank, because you know what, and what even makes me know how great that team was is when I look at these records. Average 429 yards of offense, 39 points per game. Defense held opponents to 10 points per game. Average 329 yards rushing. And Jerome and Larry made an All-American. That team was so good. Larry Thompson was so good that he decided to not even go to college afterwards. He went to Canada and he played Canadian football for probably 10, 11 years. And so that team was that great. And all of it started with the coach. Coach Beverly, he had all of us prepared. And I remember the first game before we played, the very first thing he said, the very last thing he said before we left that locker room is he said, the way you play today is the way you're going to play for the rest of the season. And that ended up being prophetic because we went through the rest of the year and just, did our thing. So I just want to once again thank you, the Hall of Fame, thank Solano Community College, and hopefully one day I could go sit and watch a football game. Thank you.
I want to talk about the great athletes that Solano County has. Nobody knows that, you're given a second chance to play these sports. It's an opportunity for you to excel at a different level. And you going to school in Solano County is a blessing. So that's what I'm thinking, that I'm giving back to the community. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna take couple, so don't move. 1, 2, and 3. One more time. Looking good, right there. Here we go.
All right, the second team, we'd like to recognize the 1995-96 women's basketball team. First 30-win season for women's basketball. Outstanding team. To tell you a little bit more about that spectacular team, let's welcome up to the front Kim Gervasoni, and from Vanden, pretty good coach in her own right, Allison Johnson.
The privilege of coaching this team over 20 years ago. I can't believe it.
I didn't say 20.
Over 20 years ago. And I just speak on behalf of the entire team, just how honored we are to be here tonight. And we have a lot of memories to share. We try not to take too much time. I wanted Allison to come up because, you hear coaches speak all the time, but I wanted a player to give perspective. But I also want you to know, okay, that after 20 years, stories get a little exaggerated.
They are all accurate.
So I wasn't quite as bad as I know some of these stories are going to be. Anyway, so Allison's going to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Allison Johnson. I'm excited to be here and shed some light on the validity of all of our stories. And there are quite a few of us here. So this woman was crazy. And I thank God every day she was. So here's Coach.
So I did want to introduce the players. A lot of them are here tonight. I'm so happy that they could be here with their families and their children, just their beautiful families. So there's a couple players though that I just want to acknowledge that aren't here tonight. Not in attendance is Anna Gallegos, and she played at Armio High School. She was a great point guard for us. She went on to play at St. Joseph's University in Indiana, and she got a postgraduate degree from Purdue University. So great career. Now she's married, has a beautiful family. And then the other player that's not here tonight is a guard from Vanden High School, Jocelyn Guzman. Jocelyn was a part of our all-academic team at Solano, and she contributed a lot on and off the court to our team. So the athletes that are here tonight, when I call your name, just stand, and I'd like to say a few words about you, if you would. The first player I'd like to introduce is Angela Good, now Angela Borchert. No, stay standing. Stand up. So Angela came from Fairfield High School. As many of you might know, she played for Brian Jones, who was just inducted into the Fairfield High School Hall of Fame. Brian was an amazing coach. I got Angela, and she was already, her basketball IQ was very good. But Angela was one of the best catch and shoot players I've ever coached. And our offense worked really well for Angela because we ran the flex offense. So, you know, there's always a baseline cutter. And she could knock down that from the left side, the baseline shot, the three-pointer was her shot. But she was a great shooter. She went on to play at Concordia University. And I also have to take a little bit of credit because back in the day, I introduced Angela to Matt Borchert. I set them up on a blind date, and now they're happily married with 2 beautiful daughters. So. Angela was named to the Bay Valley All-Academic Team, All-Tournament Solano Showdown, and she was honorable mention All-BBC. The next player is Sarita Ellison. Sarita, stand up. So Sarita came from Hogan High School, and I just loved coaching this girl. She was, one of my favorite all-time NBA players is Charles Barkley. And Sarita was our Charles Barkley. I mean, she was an undersized post player, but she could catch anything that they threw to her. And just, she was strong, she used her body, she was a great rebounder. She was just a force inside. And I just loved her enthusiasm and her energy on the court, and I was just very privileged to coach her, and I'm so happy you're here tonight. She was also honorable mention All BBC, so thank you, Sarita.
We had a student trainer travel with us, and that was Dawn, and I know he can't be here tonight, but I'd like to thank Allison Aubert. You are a tremendous asset to the Solano community. You're just a godsend. You work magic to get us players healthy and back on the court again quickly, and you've been doing it for a long time. So I know on behalf of our team, we're so thankful for you and everything you gave to our group. And as far as the, okay, I have permission now. The support staff, you know, Jesse, we had a tremendous support staff. You know, every game that we played, whether it was, you know, Jesse and Roxy, and we had the cookies and Carl, we had so many people that just came out each night to support us. And it was an extension of everything that we had worked for. And to have people constantly there outside of our biological families and our friends, but we had another group, and it just all became one family, and the support that you gave us, you know, has never gone forgotten. When I asked my teammates, you know, tell me who you remember, tell me what keywords stick out, tell me what people stick out, and it's so amazing that everyone said the same thing. And Jesse, we appreciate all the support, and you and everyone else gave us during that time there.
The next player I'd like to recognize is Zanidi Law. So we had a really talented group come in this year. Zanidi, I worked hard to recruit her to come to Solano, and I was so happy when she decided to come. At the community college level, it's tough to get, you know, 6'4", 6'5" kids. They're far and few between, and if they're, you know, decent players going on in the four-year university. So we were very lucky to get her. And one thing, Zanidi had a lot to work on when she came to me, but one of the things she was the most coachable player I've ever coached. She was, in my career, 20-plus coaching career, I can honestly say she was the most improved player I've ever coached in my career. But It was because of her determination, her enthusiasm. She just believed in everything we were doing on the court, and she wanted to be a part of it. And she ended up being one of the best players, you know, post players in Solano College history, and she got a full ride scholarship to Fresno State University. So, and anyway, she broke a lot of records along the way. She ended up all tournament COS, MVP of the Solano Showdown, number 5 rebounder all time, best field goal percentage. So she did a lot of good things for us. Z, thank you. Next player is Jamie Mayer. Jamie. So Jamie came to us, she started out at Chico State. I recruited her so hard. She's like, no, coach, I'm not gonna play anymore. I'm gonna go to Chico. She ended up coming back and playing for Solano for 2 years, and I thank God every day that she did. She ended up having just an amazing career for us. She was we had a really good passing team, and if any of you watch basketball at all levels, passing is kind of a lost art. And Jamie was just a great passer. She could just find the open person, and she was a great scorer. Like, she was just a great all-around offensive player. So, you know, it was fun to coach you. She ended up being named to the All-BVC team, all Northern California, and just had a great career for us. So congratulations. Next up is Elena Salvador. Her nickname was Mouse, so we call her Mouse a lot. So Mouse came to us from St. Patrick's High School, and she, you know, played for a very strong program. She was one of our defensive specialists, so she usually ended up, you know, on the other team's point guard, playing defense on them full court. She played a lot of point guard for us. She was named to the all-academic, all-Bay Valley team, and she just had she was a great team player. She contributed a lot to the team, so thank you, Mouse.
We were blessed to have 2 assistant coaches with us, in addition to our head coach. And so will Coach Wendy and Coach Kevin stand up, please? You were both equal parts to the coaching staff. Wendy, you were not a yeller. You were a great balance. You know, Wendy had a way about giving advice or polite suggestions. And she had a way of formatting it in a way that could be received by said yellers. Wendy, and we were so excited when Wendy got pregnant during the season with us, and we were so excited, but we totally like babied her. We'd rub her belly every day. I don't know what, we were just all over her belly, talking to the belly, and she's like, I'm like 5 weeks in, can you guys back up? But we were so excited for you to start your own family, even though we knew that we were your first kids. We knew, and she would always tell Kim, you can't say that to them, they're too young, stop. So she would try to censor this one. But we always knew how much you cared about us, and you're unconditional and just absolutely loving and such a calming presence and great balance. So as any head coach knows, you have to find compliments to what you bring to the table, and she absolutely did in the 2 of you. So Coach Wendy, we appreciate you and we love you. Kevin, another coach, extremely knowledgeable about the game. I'm an incredible buffer between head coaches and players, like if we were gonna run a lot, like Rockville Road and the middle of a thunderstorm and thunder and lightning and all that good stuff. So hypothetically speaking. Kevin, you would, one of my first memories when I look back, I remember you in this beautiful Solano blue suit, walking down the hallway with your smile beaming and ready for game time. And then we'd ask you what kind of mood coach was in, because we were always trying to get a pulse. You were an amazing buffer, but I don't want your basketball knowledge to go to the wayside. Incredible basketball mind. You yelled at us one time all year. One time, Kevin, and all the times we messed up, only one time did we get in trouble with you. But you were always in our corner, always had our backs, loved us absolutely unconditionally, and you're a great example of a man who loved us and loved his family first, and that included us. And we love you, Kevin. Thank you for everything.
And just to follow up with what Allison said, I could never quite replicate this coaching staff. Like, we just had so much fun on and off the court. And we were a team. We were a perfect team because they did compliment me and balance me. And speaking of, I'm talking about this one next. She says this one to me, but have any of you watched Van in high school play? So they I am very proud of her accomplishments, but people go and they'll text me or they'll Facebook me and they'll say, I just went and watched Allison coach. Oh my gosh, it's like watching you coach. So if I'm a yeller, then this one is also. So anyways, I knew Allison was going to be a great coach because when I coached her, she was the coach on the court. I just felt a calming presence when she was out there. She just knew the game so well. And it's a credit to her high school coaches, but she just understood the game. And so, you know, her stats, she didn't have a lot of stats that showed up at the end of the game, but you needed her in the game. She finished the season with a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, which is tough, you know, your first year. And she played a lot of minutes. So we were very lucky to have her a part of our team and another great passer for us. And I'm just so proud of her accomplishments now and what she's done with Van in high school. She's one of the premier high school basketball coaches in the state, if not the country. So next up is Michelle Muir. Stand up. So Michelle came to me from, and we were like, we had a 6'4", 6'2" centers, and Michelle came from Armio High School, which back in the day, you know, Armio had a very strong program as well with Bob Pickett. And so she came with a very high basketball IQ and just strong fundamentals. So she was a great defensive player for us. She went on after 2 years at Solano and got a full ride to IUPUI, which is kind of an extension of Purdue University. So she went there and then she ended up getting her master's degree as well. So just couldn't be more proud of her, and her husband's here tonight and she has a beautiful family, and so thank you for coming all this way. So the next person I want to introduce is one of our team captains from the year, and it's Spring Steed. Stand up, Spring. Spring came to us also from Armio High School and played for Bob Pickett, and they had just a crazy good basketball team. I don't know if you remember, but you know, Maria was part of that, Michelle, Anna, Marissa, and Spring was just one of the, you know, top players on that team and in that program. And I couldn't believe when I got all of them to come from Armio and play for me. It was just, you know, like winning the lottery. But Spring she did it all. Like, I can't say one thing she did well because she did everything well. She was a defensive specialist for us. She could hit the 12-foot shot. She could drive. She could shoot the pull-up. She could rebound. So she had no weak spot in her game, and so that's why she was named, you know, all conference, and that's why she got a full ride to Arizona State, because she was just an athletic, all-around great player, and I was privileged to coach you. So thank you. And last but not least is our other team captain, Maria Lara. And if you look at your program for records, you know, she's in the majority of the scoring records and still holds a lot of the scoring records. So Maria also came from Armio High School, was part of that group. And Maria was she was probably one of the best defensive players in the state. Like, she used her athleticism, but she's so smart. She could just outsmart anybody on defense, and she had really quick instincts. So she got a lot of steals for us, a lot of points in transition. She could pull up and hit the jump shot. She got to the free throw line a lot because she was real physical and used her body. So she was just an amazing all-around player. And I remember we had a great team this year, and it went really deep. We won the conference, and we made it to the state championships, and we were down 1 point, and we had the ball with 6 seconds to go, and I went to Maria. I said, "You're going to take the last shot," and I swear I thought it was going in, and we were going to win by 1. But that's how much confidence I had in her. And she got a great shot off, and she hit the rim, the back of the rim, and bounced out. But she was just that player that you knew if you gave her the ball, she was going to do something good with it. She went on to be she was first team All-State for junior college. And then she went on to get a full ride scholarship to Sac State, had a good career there. Now she's married, has a beautiful family, and thank you, Maria. A lot of great memories. Thank you.
100% of our team went on to college at the 4-year. We have over 20 AAs, we have over 13 bachelors, we have masters. Some of us became moms, some of us didn't. Many of us went to go work in law enforcement, some in the health profession, some are stay-at-home moms, some are teachers, some are coaches. But there's Maria, actually our captain, like always. She mentioned something a couple of days ago to me, and she's like, but all of us became strong women, and we're all strong role models in one way or another. And it's so true. It's absolutely true. Sometimes we forget who's watching us. When I look back, I have so many incredible memories. And there's one person that's at the top of the food chain that makes this happen. And to be at the top, you pay a price. And there's just certain things that you're not willing to compromise to achieve excellence. And this woman obviously played a key role in getting us there. I'm not going to tell you more crazy stories. But when I asked my teammates to help me with this part, how do we describe Coach? She was organized, smart, demanding. That's how we learned flex. She was a little crazy. You were, but you have to be crazy to be excellent. Particular, precise, loving, loud, superstitious. We still don't split poles to this day. She was absolutely committed to us being the best that we could be at all times. She wasn't afraid to make tough decisions, and she was another mother figure to many of us. You taught us how to work hard and be accountable, and you made us tough but not cold. Yes. You had a creative way of taking all of us from rival high schools. And I came from Jessup, Santa, so I was definitely like from Snobville over there, and it was really fun seeing all of us come together. And she absolutely broke us all down and then built us back up as a unit. And to do that, and to get us all on the same page, where every single player bought into the common goal, that's special. To do that at the JC, even more special. To do that at 1 year at the JC is absolutely incredible. This woman taught us how to be a family, and with family, you have your ups and downs, but no matter what, with family, you fight for each other, no matter what. With our family, we were taught that once we put on that Solano uniform, we did transform into that one common goal, and that was to win. We were all a bunch of pissy overachievers that really wanted to be successful, and none of us liked losing. So we went through all the different things to put us in that position. Undefeated at home was amazing. To go to the state Final Four was sweet. To go through that ride, Coach always told us only one team is happy at the end. And although that's true, when we look back, there's so much more that doesn't show up in the newspaper, or that doesn't show up in the stat sheet, it doesn't show up in the record books. What we were, what we had, who we represented, and what we accomplished was special. There's not one day that I don't look back and thank God that she had the guts to be a little bit crazy, to be committed to all of us, and to never settle for less. She's loved us the whole time, even when she was screaming at us. We know that now as adults, but when I look back, I'm proud to have been a part of it, and if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it in a heartbeat. My teammates, I love you all. None of us have changed. We've gotten a little bit older, but we haven't really matured. We're just a little older these days. But I look at you guys, and I'm so proud of all of you. You guys are amazing women, and to be in this room with our staff, our families, and our team, it's truly a godsend. So I love you all. You know where to find me. Coach loves you. And I appreciate tonight and giving us the opportunity to acknowledge our team and the ride that we did have.
Well, she just talked about a lot of what I was going to talk about, so I'm not going to say that. So I do want to say I was really superstitious. I was thinking on the way over here how I had to drive the exact same way and listen to the exact same song at the exact same stop sign. It was crazy. I was very superstitious. But we were and still are a family. Facebook, some people like Facebook, some don't, but it's a way for me to stay connected with so many players that I've coached. And they just threw a surprise 40th birthday party for Maria, and so much of the team was there. And I think that, like, the lifelong friendships they made, that's what it's all about. And we were a family, and we still are a family. It stood the test of time. And I'm just so honored to be a part of it, of the whole thing, part of Solano College, that they gave a 25-year-old coach a chance. That's when I got hired, and that's a big chance to take. And they believed in me, and I believed in my players. And this is the first women's basketball team to be honored by the college. And so that's special. So I want to thank the committee for making this the first women's basketball team to be honored. And thank you, players, families, coaches, for coming such a long distance to be here tonight. Thank you very much.
All right. I'm going to take a couple of these. Here we go. I'm looking so awkward now. Oh, you guys look awesome. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3.
Now we're going to get to the individual inductions. And the first member being inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight will be wide receiver Kenonte Howard. And to tell us a little bit about Kenonte, one of the best offensive minds ever to coach at Solano Community College. It was always great watching your offensive teams, Coach Burns said. They were fun to watch. Let's hear it for the old ball coach himself, Floyd Burnstead.
Thank you. I don't know about that, but it's my honor to introduce our first inductee tonight. Kenonte came to us from Vanden High School. He's kind of one of those hybrid type athletes who was 6'4", about 195 pounds. And we said, what the heck, we'll put him at tight end and see how he can play. His freshman year, he did a nice job. He caught 25 passes for 430 yards and 12 touchdowns. So coming up on his sophomore year, either a smart coach or Kenonte told me to move him to wide receiver. He ended up at wide receiver. Had a great year. He caught 72 balls for 1,100 yards, so you can see there was a little difference there. And I think the main difference was the corners at that time were about 5'8", 5'9", and Kenonte was 6'4", so that really helped our stats there. At Solano, he accomplished a lot of things. First of all, he was a student athlete. He exemplified being a student athlete there. He left Solano with a 3.0 GPA. He was one of the most fun athletes I've ever coached, and I'll tell you a little story at the end about him, but just a great person to coach. Some of his attributes, as a freshman, he made all-conference at tight end. He made all-conference academic team. As a sophomore, he made all-conference as a wide receiver. He made all-state as a wide receiver. He holds 2 Solano receiving records and most touchdowns in a single season and the most touchdowns in a career. And I knew he would always, I know he's coaching at Vanden High School now. He's coaching football over there because one of my old high schools where I used to coach, Ceremonies, played them over at Vanden this year, and my ex-offensive line coach at Solano said, "You'll never guess who I saw over at Vanden coaching." So I know he was coaching. I know he was going to be a great offensive coordinator. And the way I could figure that out was he'd always help me call the offense. He'd come over after every play and say, "Coach, I'm open, throw me the ball." So So I'm sure he's putting that in his offense at Vanden High School, and I'm sure they're going to be very successful. But one of the greatest players of my tenure that I was there at Solano, and that's Kenonte Howard. Congratulations, Kenonte.
I don't talk on microphones. I don't like to sound my voice, so if you guys can hear me, put a thumbs up. That's what we say at the elementary school. Put a thumbs up. First, I want to thank Solano Community College for the honor. I feel honored. Coach B, thank you for coaching me at Solano. I know it wasn't easy. It's not easy coaching me. I wouldn't say I got angry, but I was very passionate about the game. So thank you for being patient with me. Not too into talking about what I did at Solano. I want to thank the people who were behind me when I was there. First I want to thank is Coach Buddy Rodarty, because as a youth, he really gave me the confidence to continue playing, because there was a point where I didn't want to play football anymore, and he had the confidence in me, and he told me to come out and play, and that really meant a lot to me, and that's the reason I continue to play football. So, Coach Buddy, I love you. Thank you for that, brother. I appreciate it, man. But yeah, I always remember that. Next person I want to thank is my little brother for always showing me support, always having my back. I can ask him for anything, and he'll be there. He's doing many nights where I had to give him a call to come pick me up, and he'll do it. So thank you, please, I love you. And my family, my parents, you guys have been the best parents that I could ask for. Throughout my high school career, I broke my ankle 3 years in a row, freshman year to junior year, so I didn't get to play much football. And then senior year, broke my hand, so I think my high school career I played maybe 7 games. But not once did they tell me that I should think about doing something else. They always had my back, and they always encouraged me to continue to play football. And there's really nothing I can say to thank you guys. You guys have been there through thick and thin. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. The people I would like to thank tonight are the people I have in my life now, the coaches I coach with. Coach Holmes here, Coach Murphy is here, Coach Kerlock, also Coach Allison is here. They push me every day to be a better person, and without football I would have never got the chance to meet them, so I'm very grateful to have them in my life, and I'm very grateful that they're pushing me in the right direction to be a positive person in the community. To keep it short and sweet, the last person I would really like to thank is my man Blake McAhern. In my freshman year, man, I got there, I didn't know what to do, so I played tight end, and then Blake trusted me, threw the ball up to me every time. I think my first 5 catches from Blake were touchdowns, so I had 5 catches, 5 touchdowns, like 3 games. So he really helped me with my confidence by trusting in me and throwing the ball. Congratulations to all the other inductees. It's an honor to be inducted with you guys. And where's Poff at? You put the pressure on me, man. I wasn't nervous until you said that. You made me nervous, man. Hey, man. Let go. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. I remember we had the triangle, the 3-step.
You got the triangle down.
The triangle, yeah. Again, thank you, Solano Community College, for this great night. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys continue to have a great evening. Thank you.
One more time. Here we go. 1, 3, 1.
That was nice, Kenonte. That's one thing I teach in public speaking, right? Don't get locked in behind the microphone. Step out, close that distance. I like that you remember that. Nice. All right, our next inductee will be Candace Holmes, and to introduce her, I'd like to introduce myself, Dean Hodges.
It's great to be here. I'm very proud of my niece. We're all here to recognize some great athletes and to congratulate them on their accomplishments. And I've got the esteemed honor in introducing my niece, Candace Holmes. I thought about sharing some really funny anecdotes about how she got to be here tonight, but I promised her I wouldn't embarrass her. So those stories stay with the family. But I will tell you two things that made Candace the impact player she was. It was hard work and the love of the game. Little did I know, when she was about this big, she followed me to a summer camp, a clinic we were putting on. And at that time, I never knew how it would affect her. Basketball wound up being one of her best friends. She tried out for the junior varsity team as a freshman, made the team, and as a family, we got to see her mid-season turn from a caterpillar into a beautiful butterfly. Now don't get me wrong, this beautiful butterfly was tenacious on the basketball court. She was a menace on defense and was real tough to guard in the paint. And sometimes teams would take that away from her. She showed them how deadly her short-range jump shot was. It was awesome. It was exciting to watch her play. High school, Solano College, and then when she traveled all the way to the East Coast, Morgan State University, the Lord put me in DC, and I got a chance to watch her play there. And it was awesome watching her grow up and play basketball. She's a phenomenal player. So to make it short and sweet, unlike my niece, who's tall and sweet, believe it or not, as in our women's basketball tradition, I'd like to now present Candace her number 33 framed jersey. Welcome to the Hall of Fame.
I know. Okay. I told myself I wasn't going to cry at all. I told myself I wasn't going to be nervous. I'm actually not that nervous, which is actually pretty good. But I just want to thank my mom and my uncle and my family and everyone that supported me, because like my uncle did say, I was really fresh to the game, and I was able to be everything that I wasn't, in public and in the classroom. I was able to be that on the court. I was able to be vocal. I was able to be a good friend. I was able to be an awesome player. And so without basketball, without Solano, without Coach Matt, Coach Lindsay, Coach Kevin, I would not be where I am today without my mom, my dad, and my brothers. And I just want to thank everyone. I am so honored to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. And I am this is so beautiful. Thank you enough. And it is a great honor too to even be inducted with Sharonda. We played at Volleyball High School together. Then we went on to Solano together, and then only to go on to Morgan together, and to be inducted in the Hall of Fame together, I think is amazing.
1, 2, and 3. One more time. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3.
Now, to induct Blake McAhern, his old Pop Warner coach, Darren McCray.
I got the opportunity. Blake called me about a week ago and was like, hey coach, I'm getting inducted to the Solano Hall of Fame. Would you do the induction? And I was like, wow, that's a pretty big privilege to do. So I'm very honored to do that. I met Blake in 2000. He was probably 5'10", about 100 pounds, and he played tight end. So what they do, put the tall kids at tight end, just throw it up to them. Problem is we had a quarterback that couldn't see over the line. So I said to Blake, I said, hey, don't you play baseball? And he's like, yeah. I said, what position? Outfield pitcher. He's got an arm. Teach him how to play quarterback. So we go through the first season. I think we didn't do too well, but during the off season, Blake would come over to my house. He'd play with my older sons. We put duct tape out in the street, made the line, made the holes. Blake would throw passes. He had a gun. Kid had a gun. However, he couldn't throw a flare pass to the back out the backfield. So how do we fix that? I think Blake will tell you. I used to sit on a 6-foot ladder, say throw it over my head to my other son. If it wasn't right, I'd swat it out the air, do it again. I think I sent Blake home crying a couple times too. One thing I wanted to make Blake though was strong. So yes, coaches, we do yell. But remember some athletes, if we yell, we care. We don't yell, we don't care. Okay? So Blake got it. Led our team to a championship his last year. He's 13 years old, 8th grade. Did everything. Youth football, they run the ball a lot. I think we were the first youth football team to spread them out. So Blake learned how to be a field general because I knew he had the mind, he had the intelligence, but he had the determination to do it. So what did Blake do after me? He went on to Armio High School. I told his dad, get him out of there. Sorry, they run the ball, he's got to throw. What school throws? Go to Vanden. So he went to Vanden for his last 3 years, and I think his sophomore, junior year, they still put him at receiver, tight end. They did have a pretty good quarterback at the time. Blake's senior year, they put him at quarterback, and let's see, it goes from there. So Blake played 3 years. His senior year, he set both passing yards and touchdown records in a single season. After that, he came to Solano. At Solano, you kind of heard some of his stats. 4,932 yards in 2 seasons, 48 touchdowns, 62.3 completion average. He also then had his biggest game, as you heard earlier, 496 yards and 6 touchdowns against the College of Marin. After that, Blake received a full ride. He went back to school at Fort Hays State University, played 2 seasons there, and the most exciting thing about it, he graduated with a degree in sociology. So on my behalf, on behalf of his family, not only do you have a great athlete, but you have a great young man in Blake McAhern.
All right, guys, not much of a speaker. I'll try and keep it short. First off, want to thank my family for coming out. Definitely all the coaches that helped me out through my career. Kind of started with Darren. Kind of lived down the street, and he kind of introduced me into football. We used to, I was much of a baseball player. Never really thought about playing football. I think I picked it up around 12 years old. From there, then we played a couple late nights out there in the street. From there on, went to high school. I think Murph's here possibly. I don't know if he's here or not, or left. Okay, maybe left. He gave me the opportunity my senior year actually to play quarterback. Set a couple records, kind of surprised myself. Went from there, went to Solano, Coach B. I was about 140 pounds when I graduated high school. I hit the weight room hard, gained about 30 pounds. Went from there, freshman year, made all conference. Sophomore year, all conference. Was blessed to get a full ride, move on to Fort Hays, play a couple more years there. Really, I want to thank my family definitely for coming out. You guys always been there. I think you guys been to every game. Even when I was in Kansas, you guys, somebody was making their way out there, whether it was somebody or not. So I appreciate that. Sis, I love you. Mandy, Dre, Dom, I know, helping you into college as well, man. Definitely want to give a shout out to today. He used to just say, "Throw me the ball." All right, man. Throw it up. Like I said, our first 5 passes were touchdowns. He always used to grill me, and we used to always put a lot of time and effort at Solano on a day-to-day basis, and the hard work paid off. So congratulations to everybody, the teams. Glad to be introduced and inducted with you guys. So thank you.
1, 2, and 3. Nicely done.
All right, next for the introductory speech for Sharonda Watson, let's hear it for our very own Coach Matt Borchert.
Good evening, everybody. Greg just told me no notes, but that's not going to happen. So, first of all, I want to give a personal thank you to Jesse Branch. When I first came to Solano back in 2001 as the head coach, Jesse, of course, was one of the first people I met. I actually met him before that. But the thing about Jesse that's amazing, right? We've heard from 89, 90, 95, 96, different years. Does everyone agree, right? Jesse tonight does not look one iota different, right, than he did in 1989 or 1995. So again, Jesse, just an amazing man. The 1995-96 team, so pleased to have you here tonight. So happy for you. Number one, I want to thank Kim for taking the Arizona State job, the assistant coaching job, back in 2000 to allow me to be the head coach and for being a big part of me being the coach here and getting the job. But the 95-96 team has so many great players, past inductees. There's 3 former Hall of Famers here. But I'm so pleased for the Zanidis, the Michelles, the Angelas, the Saritas, for you to be such talented players and to finally get the recognition that you've deserved. I just couldn't be more happier for you tonight. So congratulations again to the 95-96 team. You have learned tonight what a great tradition we have in Solano College women's basketball. And when I became head coach in 2000-2001, I was blessed, first of all, that Coach Kevin Chaney stayed. And thank you again, Kevin, for being such a wonderful assistant coach. I was very blessed to have him stay with the program. Also, Tom Gill and Allison Johnson's dad stayed on the coaching staff, and that was a wonderful thing for me. And then, as Kim, of course, mentioned, at the time, Angela Good was also on my coaching staff when I first took over. And that was about the time that we started seriously dating. And so, of course, after that year, I had to fire her. So, and then, you know the story from there. So, but at that time, in 2000-2001, I was also blessed with great players, such as last year's inductee, Ebony Love Williams, and past inductee, LaStar Brown. In 2001-2002, I was blessed with the return of Coach Wendy Derby. You met Wendy earlier. She came back to coach at that time, which was a wonderful blessing for me. So Wendy, thank you for being such a wonderful friend. And also in what the media would call my first recruiting class at Solano, I was blessed with 2 players out of Vallejo High School, a forward, Candace Holmes, and a 5'6", energetic, really athletic guard named Sharonda Watson. And it is my pleasure tonight to introduce you and tell you a little bit more about Sharonda. Sharonda was a bundle of energy with quickness and speed, who could play point guard and shooting guard. Sharonda could get to the basket at any time. She could shoot the 3. So she was quite a handful. You could tell from the start that she was going to be very, very special. As good as she was, Sharonda was very confident. She was very vocal. But as a freshman in that 01-02 season, she played alongside one of the great players in the history of the program, the aforementioned LaStar Brown. So we were hoping that LaStar was going to be here tonight, and this would be probably a lot more funnier, funnier is not a word. And but LaStar, that Sharonda's freshman year, LaStar would take Sharonda's side and kind of be like, you're good, but I'm the sheriff in town, so just scale it back a little bit, so to speak. But they complemented each other really, really well, and they formed one of the better backcourts in the state. And Sharonda had a wonderful year, freshman year, And she was a starting guard along with Lestar. And the great story I have as a freshman is in the opening tournament, we were at Chafee, the Chafee tournament, and the floor was very slippery. I don't know if Sharonda remembers this, but the floor was quite slippery. And Sharonda was involved in a play and kind of did half a splits and hamstring kind of, strained a little bit. And it was a big concern. Like we were like, hamstrings can go, 4, 6, 7, 8 weeks. And ended up being okay, but she was really, really diligent. And she was, Coach, don't worry, I'm going to go soak in the bath, Epsom salt, all that stuff. And it was, she was amazing. And thank God that that hamstring was not fully torn. And she went, as I said, went on to have a great freshman year. She battled Lestar in practice every day, was mentored by Star. And then, of course, as a sophomore in 2002, 2003, Sharonda just took off. And she was the unanimous all-conference selection, and she was named to the all-tournament team at the prestigious Tom Gilchrist Invitational at College of the Sequoias, as Coach Kim mentioned earlier. The Tom Gilchrist Invitational is a very special tournament. It's the biggest tournament in the state. It has 16 teams. The best from the south and the best from the north go to that tournament. Solano women's basketball has been invited to that tournament for a very long time. We still go to this day. In fact, in a few weeks, we will go to Visalia on December 1st and participate in the 40th annual Tom Gilchrist Invitational. So that gives you an idea of the prestige of the tournament. And so to be named all tournament at College of the Sequoias is something else. And you get an idea with the 95, 96 teams. Zaniti is a former all-tournament player at COS. It means you've played 4 days in a row. You have to play 4 games, otherwise they don't even consider you. And Maria was all-tournament COS not once but twice, which is how special of a player that Maria was as well. So Sharonda was all tournament there, and that was a really special tournament. I don't know if Sharonda and Candace remember that tournament, but we played, in the first round we played Cerritos and we beat them. And that was a pretty, I'm not going to say surprise, but opened some eyes, round. And the next day we had Merced. And at the time, the great thing about the Sequoias tourney was 16 teams played in one gym. The whole day, one gym, and you had to fit all the games, 8 games, into one day. And so the game started like at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and the atmosphere was unbelievable. All the teams would stay, watch the games, come back and watch the games. Small, tiny little gym, great community in Visalia, and just a tremendous atmosphere. Well, that particular day when we played Merced, there was like 3 or 4 overtime games preceding us. So we were supposed to play at like 6 o'clock, if I remember correctly. We ended up going back to the hotel to wait because there were so many games before us going. And we ended up starting the game versus Merced like at 9:30 at night. And it was a great game. We ended up winning the game 60 to 59. Candace made a great defensive play at the end of that game. Sharonda had a wonderful game. But what was amazing was the atmosphere. There was like 4 or 5 teams in the gym rooting for the game. The game was back and forth, really close. And it was tremendous. It was tremendous. And it's one of the great moments that I remember in my coaching career, because at the time, our late great friend, Mike Driversoni, Kim's husband, was the coach at De Anza. And he was at the top of the bleachers at this game, and he was my mentor. And he was texting and had Kim on the phone, I think the entire last 5 minutes of the game, doing play-by-play for Kim of how we were doing, and that's how special the tournament was. So that was a big highlight, not only for Sharonda, but for Candace. So After that, Sharonda had a great career. She finished her career at Solano averaging 10 points per game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. She earned a full ride scholarship to Morgan State University. Her and Candace went together, as Candace mentioned. And at Morgan State, Sharonda averaged 12 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 4 assists. And she still holds to this day the all-time 3-point shooting record at Morgan State for threes made in a single game was 7. She still holds that record today. So it is my honor. First I want to thank Candace and Sharonda for representing yourself and the Solano women's basketball program so well, for being such great leaders in my first recruiting class, and for your continued support and your friendship. I really, really appreciate it. And as you learned earlier, our long-standing women's basketball tradition that Kim started and that I continue to this day, we are honored, Sharonda, to present you tonight with your number 3 framed jersey and welcome you to the Solano College Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
I've been lifting weights for this. Oh, sorry. So I want to thank everybody. This is a... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to use the microphone. I apologize. This is such a humbling experience for me. Came a long way from being 10 years old and really watching that 95 team play. I remember going to practices. Coach Gary is here, my AAU coach, who introduced me to Coach Kim back then. And I think I was destined for Solano from day one. So this is just a great honor. I'm excited because Candace, we used to be rivals at first playing, and then we became teammates at Volleyball. So for her to come with me and we went on this journey together through our college years, it was great. And I know sometimes I was a pain as a roommate. I do apologize for that. But, it's just a great honor. And I want to thank my parents. I mean, they stood by me. They supported me throughout my journey in my career playing sports. I'm going to thank Coach Kevin for saying, you need to come to Solano. He was coming to my games and really saying, you need to come. You know the program. So I want to thank him, thank Coach Wendy. She was definitely that mom, because Coach Matt would be yelling at times as well. And I still don't like pancakes to this day, because he said at times I would shoot like I was making pancakes. So, I have some fun memories of Solano, and it's great because we are a family and will always be a family, and I love you guys. And thank you to everybody that's here. Thank you to all the inductees for your great work, and congratulations to everybody.
Well, I already know that. I get to be with her.
Real quick announcement before we get to our last inductee. If you would like to watch tonight's induction ceremony, we'll be running it on Channel 28 locally in Fairfield. We're going to wait till after Tuesday, probably a lot going on. Don't want to have to compete with the election results, but starting on Wednesday at noon and 9. On Channel 28, that's the local Fairfield Access channel. That's actually the channel that Fairfield created for a sports broadcasting program. And we typically put about 500 to 600 hours of programming on Channel 28 throughout the year. So if you'd like to watch the induction ceremony, you can do so locally on Channel 28. If you don't live in Fairfield, you'd still like to watch the ceremony tonight, you can do that through one of our multiple social media sites. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on YouTube, and you can find us on Instagram at Solano College Sports Network. So your favorite mobile device, we're pretty easy to find. You can watch tonight's induction ceremony. And I'd like to thank all my great students. Great job tonight. A lot of work goes into doing this. Thank you so much, you guys. Ty, nice job on the camera. And you can't see him, he's in the back. He's our new lab tech for our sports TV network. Brian Nelson, our producer tonight. You'll see his work when you watch it on TV. Thank you, Brian. I know you're back there looking at me. All right. And way to rally. We didn't make 9:30, but I think we're close enough. So for our last induction introductory speech for Lovella Asuncion, got it right this time. Let's hear it for our volleyball coach, not only a great coach, outstanding teacher, Darla Williams.
Okay, best for last. I was told I had till 10 o'clock, so I'm going to start with the history of volleyball. Volleyball started in no, just kidding. Well, I said, hey, my inductee, her last name starts with an A. I'll go first. No, volleyball, we're last. So, I don't know who alphabetized the book here. Hi. Thank you for coming. I am going to follow my notes. I will get off tangent a little bit, but that's okay. I'm honored to speak today on behalf of volleyball inductee Lovella Asuncion. Lovella played at Solano for me in 2006 and 2007. In 2010, she was also one of my assistant coaches at Solano. From Solano, she continued her nursing program at Napa College and became an RN in her first job in Novato, California. While working in 2 trauma centers, still playing volleyball indoor and outdoor, she went back recently to get her Bachelor's of Science in Nursing at Sac State. Lovella was part of our 2006 BVC championship team. We went 13-1 in the BVC that year, overall 20-5. Oh, I got to use my triangle, Mr. Poff. Okay, my triangle. Lovella came in her first year at Solano College to run our offense. My first setter to come in as a freshman to run solely setting on her own, the only setter on the court for 2 years. Her first season, she played 92 sets. Let me explain this. With volleyball, they used to be called games. Now they call them sets. The first time a reporter told me it's a set, I'm like, this isn't tennis. Like 2 years later, all of a sudden they started referring it to sets. So each separate game or set, and then the whole thing is a match. That's your history lesson. Okay, so Lovella in her first year played 92 sets. She added 61 kills. She was just a setter, not a hitter. 101 digs, 20 blocks, and yes, Lovella is only 5'2". She served 364 times at 93% with 45 aces. But most impressive, her first year she had 907 assists that she dished out in that season. Now, an assist is not every time a setter touches the ball. An assist is when she touches and sets the ball and her hitters put it down for a kill, for a point. So she may touch 3, 5, or 10 before someone kills it and gets a point. So she had 907 just in her first year. Back in 2006, we played matches to 30 points, whereas today, college and high school only play to 25. She set her own personal record with 47 assists in one 5-set barn burner match against Napa. And then in the same season, she then broke her own record and had 49 assists against Yuba College in only 4 sets. She doesn't remember all that probably, but I have it all written down. In 2007, Lovella returned as our starting setter and the quarterback of our team. She played in every conference match, overall played in 85 sets. I think Mr. Poff said the total number of sets, it was some astronomical number. But her sophomore year, she added 78 kills. Again, this girl is 5'2". She did have a 24-inch vertical jump, but I think right now she might be maybe 18 inches. She added 124 digs, 29 blocks. Yes, Lovella, 29. Serving 430 attempts at 91% with 67 aces. Aces is straight down to the floor. No one can touch it. It's so good. Her second year, she added 786 assists to her total. Her 2-year amazing total was 112 aces, 225 digs, and an impressive 1,693 assists. That's huge. Yes, give her applause. She finished her second season as a Bay Valley All-Conference first team player. I missed 2006. I missed somewhere where she was the Bay Valley second team. And she led the entire conference with 515 assists. So her second year, she was Bay Valley first team. Again, a team only consists of 6 players and then 12 for the second team. She was Academic Achievement Award with a 3.6 GPA. Lovella was a special kid. Just one of those that she gave 100% daily in practice, on the court, in the classroom, everything. One of those that coaches, we look back and say, top-notch player, I will always remember that kid. And she was definitely that. So please put your hands together to welcome our new Volleyball 2016 Solano Athletic Hall of Fame, Lovella Asuncion McQueen. So can we take a picture with her? Okay.
Cool, here we go. Can I hear 1, 2, 3?
See that? You want to see it? Smile. I don't know if he's taking pictures. Okay.
Wow, Darla, thank you. I didn't realize that, I was just having fun playing for you, and that all of that work that I put out really amounted to something, so it's really amazing. Yeah, I just have to thank Darla so much. She made herself notice when she recruited me in high school, and she kept in contact with me, and I just think that was great because going to Solano wasn't my first option. So I'm really glad that you were looking for a setter and that I was able to fill that position. You put a lot of hard work into putting practices together and making it really exciting and fun, and so it's just never a dull moment with you, and even coaching for you is a really great experience.
And I don't yell, right?
I just want to thank you for allowing me to discover volleyball as a positive outlet. Just with all the personal struggles going on, my father was really ill in the hospital, and I didn't think I was going to continue, but she really encouraged me that, you really need this. You need this distraction from, the things that happen at home. So thank you, because, I got to meet a lot of people. The coaching staff was amazing. We had so many different perspectives, and I think that's what set us apart from the other teams in our league. And through your assistant coaches, they introduced me to just another talented community of volleyball players that I got to meet and I still play with till this day. And so it's a lot of fun. Also, I'd like to thank just the coaches that I got to work with since I started playing through junior high school, and through club volleyball, who shaped the player I am today. I want to thank my family for being here and sharing this special moment with me.
Staying awake?
Yeah. Sorry.
She's crying. Read, Brett.
I just remember learning to play volleyball from my brothers. I learned how to play with this pink volleyball that was plastic, and we were standing in the middle of the street trying to pass this ball, and it just stung every time it hurt. Just thinking about it was painful. I want to thank my mom for supporting me and encouraging me just with everything I do, so thank you. My husband for supporting my passion for the game, even though it means that I have to be gone for an entire day or even a weekend, so thank you. I want to thank, let's see, just a few more, not too long. That pretty much wraps it all. I thought I had more. It felt like a lot more when I was writing this out. Just receiving this award means so much, and I'm so honored to be here. It's been a rough year losing my father, so it's nice that just because something starts off not so well, that it can still end on a good note. So it's really great. And I want to dedicate this award. It's the last sentence, I promise. I dedicate this award to perseverance and strength to get through your toughest days. Perseverance to continually reaching your goals, and strength to overcome obstacles you never thought possible. So congratulations to everyone here, and thank you.
I also would like to mention, next year, 2017, Solano Community College will be hosting the state championship tournament in volleyball next year at Solano. Big deal.
Volunteer sign-ups at the door.
Well, that brings us to the conclusion of our ceremony tonight, and just some final last words. Nights like this are just so great because what it demonstrates more than anything else is really why we all do this, why we have a system of education, and that's to make a difference in the lives of our young people. And I think after tonight, and you look at the tradition and the history of Solano Community College athletics, I think we're doing a pretty good job of making a difference in the lives of our student athletes. All the coaches, thank you so much, past and present. One final announcement for all of the inductees. As soon as we wrap up, if we can get you back into this back room, we want to get some last photographs to make this evening memorable for all of you. Thank you so much for attending. Good night now.